My selfish mother insisted I call off my wedding to spare my golden sister's feelings, so I decided to uninvite them instead. The way I flipped the situation left everyone stunned. I'm Emily, a 30-year-old woman, and my fiance, Ryan, a 31-year-old man, proposed to me last March. We've been together for 6 years, and he's my closest confidant, my partner, and the most encouraging person in my life. When he proposed, it felt like everything aligned perfectly. However, the moment I shared the news, my mother and my half-sister Cassie, 24, turned my engagement and wedding into their personal drama. My mom married my stepfather, Tom, when I was 5. Cassie is their daughter, and though we grew up together, we've always been more like distant roommates than true sisters. Cassie has always had a competitive edge toward me. As kids, she'd throw tantrums if I outperformed her academically or received praise from family. As adults, her rivalry intensified. I earned a college scholarship while she skipped higher education. I've been with Ryan for years, while she's jumped between chaotic relationships. Now that I'm engaged, she's acting like my joy is a personal attack on her. Ryan proposed last March during a quiet weekend at home, and we planned a January wedding, small, intimate, with about 70 guests. It felt ideal for us. I was thrilled to start planning, expecting my family to share my excitement. I was wrong. When I told my mom, her first reaction wasn't joy, but "Cassie's not going to take this well." I laughed, thinking she was joking, but she meant it. Apparently, my engagement would upset Cassie because she was single and finding herself. I ignored the comment initially, but weeks later, Cassie announced she was marrying a guy she dated for 3 months. I try not to judge, but this seemed reckless. Cassie's always been impulsive, but marrying a stranger so quickly? It felt off. Still, I stayed silent, respecting her choices. By July, Cassie's rushed marriage imploded. Her husband, Jake, cheated with her best friend just 2 months after their wedding. She filed for divorce. It was a messy, painful ordeal, and I genuinely sympathized. I tried reaching out, but she rebuffed me. It became clear she wasn't seeking my support. She was blaming me. From what I gathered, Cassie believed my engagement announcement provoked her hasty marriage, as if it were a contest she had to win. When her marriage collapsed, she found it easier to resent me than own her decisions. By fall, our relationship was strained. Cassie and I barely spoke post-divorce, and Mom acted oddly, avoiding wedding talk or redirecting conversations. I assumed she was sensitive about Cassie's situation, but I should have seen the warning signs. Nothing prepares you for the absurdity of being guilt-tripped over your own wedding. I expected planning stress from logistics or costs, not family turning it into a bizarre rivalry. By mid-November, Ryan and I sent out invitations, and I was elated. That joy faded fast. 2 days later, Mom called. She rarely calls, preferring occasional texts, so I thought she wanted to discuss the wedding. Instead, she asked, "Are you really going ahead with this?" Confused, I confirmed the plans. Venue booked, deposits paid, then came the dramatic sigh, signaling trouble. "I've been thinking about Cassie," she said. "You should rethink this." "Rethink what?" "It's not the right time for a wedding," she replied. "Cassie's still reeling from her divorce. A big celebration feels thoughtless." I was dumbfounded. "You want me to cancel my wedding for Cassie?" "Yes," she said, as if it were obvious. "She's hurting, and this will make it worse." I was speechless. "Mom, we've planned this for a year. Everything's paid for." Unfazed, she suggested a small church ceremony with just immediate family to avoid showing off. Showing off? "This isn't about flaunting," I snapped. "It's about celebrating with Ryan. We've been together 6 years. This is our moment." She sighed again. "If you cared about your sister, you'd do this for her. She needs time to heal." Furious but calm, I said, "I understand Cassie's struggling, but this isn't about her. It's unfair to demand we change everything for her choices." That struck a nerve. "Her choices?" Mom snapped. "She didn't choose to be cheated on." "No, but she chose to marry a guy she barely knew," I retorted. "That was a mistake." Mom exploded, calling me heartless and selfish, saying she raised me better. I ended the call, trembling with rage. I told Ryan everything, and he was as shocked as I was. "Who asked their daughter to cancel her wedding for someone else's divorce?" he said. I hoped that was the end, but Mom intensified her efforts, calling every few days to guilt me into canceling or downsizing. "Cassie's devastated," she'd say. "A smaller event would help the family." She even called Ryan, saying, "You're so understanding, Ryan." "You'll see why this matters for Cassie." He firmly declined, sticking to our plans. Then Cassie joined in, sending snarky texts like, "Must be nice to have a perfect life," or "Isn't it too soon for a big party?" She even questioned the date, saying, "January's a strange choice. Are you trying to spite me?" Spite her? I ignored her initially, but she escalated, leaving long voicemails about how my wedding was hindering her recovery. Mom and Cassie fed off each other. Mom would say, "Cassie cried all night over your invitations," and Cassie would text, "Mom's upset about how you're acting." It was draining. I reached my limit. Their behavior wasn't about Cassie's divorce. It was about control. They wanted me to pause my life for their insecurities, and I was done. By December, Cassie's antics went public. She wasn't just sulking. She was slandering me to anyone who'd listen. My cousin Megan, my family insider, warned me Cassie was calling relatives, claiming I was rubbing my wedding in her face to humiliate her. She even said I chose January to hurt her post-divorce. My engagement predated her marriage, so her logic was nonsensical, but some relatives believed her. Mom fueled the fire, calling daily to push for a smaller wedding. "Cassie's so fragile," she'd say. "Your invitations upset her." The breaking point came at a Christmas family dinner at my aunt's. I hoped it'd be a break from the stress, but Cassie and Mom were there. Cassie ignored me, huffing whenever I mentioned the wedding. When I discussed flowers with my aunt, she muttered, "Must be nice to splurge on a party while others are rebuilding their lives." I let it slide, but tension simmered. Then, during dinner, Cassie burst into tears, sobbing, "I can't believe how cruel some people are." Everyone froze. My aunt asked what was wrong, and Cassie unleashed her act. "It's so hard," she cried. "I've been through hell, and Em's flaunting her perfect wedding like my pain doesn't matter." Mom backed her up, saying, "She's right, Emily. You need to be more sensitive," I snapped. "This wedding isn't about Cassie," I said, staying composed. "Ryan and I have planned this for a year. If she's upset, that's not my fault. Maybe she should own her rushed marriage instead of blaming me." Silence. Cassie's tears turned to fury. "How dare you?" she yelled. "You don't know what it's like to lose everything. You've had it easy. Your scholarship, your boyfriend, your perfect life." I stood, shaking. "You're right, Cassie. I don't know what it's like to fall apart because I don't make reckless choices to outdo others. Maybe if you focused on yourself instead of resenting me, you wouldn't be here." Ryan took my hand. "We're leaving." In the car, I questioned if I'd been too harsh, but I realized I was justified. Cassie had pushed me for weeks, and I was done letting her hijack my wedding. Mom's unwavering support for Cassie hurt most. She never considered my side. The next day, she texted, "You owe Cassie an apology. She's been through enough, and you were cruel." I didn't respond. I was done taking blame for their issues. It was clear they wouldn't stop, so I prepared for more chaos. Update 1, after the Christmas fiasco, I knew I had to set firm boundaries. Cassie and Mom weren't just irrational. They were trying to derail my happiness. Ignoring them didn't work, and defending myself only fueled their drama. I decided to exclude them from the wedding entirely. It was a tough call, but necessary. I discussed it with Ryan. "I think we need to uninvite them," I said, my voice heavy. "They'll ruin it if they're there." He agreed instantly. "This is our day, and you shouldn't stress about their next stunt." His support eased the weight, but cutting out my mom and sister was daunting, especially with potential family fallout. Still, I couldn't let their toxicity ruin our plans. I sent a concise email, stating their actions, spreading lies, guilting me, causing drama, showed they didn't support my wedding. Their behavior had stressed me immensely, so I was uninviting them for my peace. Sending it felt liberating. Hours later, their replies came. Mom's response was intense, calling me heartless and accusing me of fracturing the family. "I never thought my daughter would betray me," she wrote, claiming my late father would be ashamed. Classic manipulation. I didn't reply. Cassie's email was angry and self-pitying, accusing me of jealousy of what, I'm unsure, and saying I'd regret destroying the family. I ignored her too. The backlash grew. Family members Mom and Cassie had swayed contacted me. My uncle called, saying I was immature and should reconcile for family unity. A distant cousin left a voicemail, shocked I'd exclude my mother. It felt overwhelming. But then my true supporters emerged. My dad's sister, Aunt Laura, called. Proud, I stood up for myself. "You've tolerated their nonsense too long," she said. Megan texted, "Don't let them get to you. Your real allies have your back." My godmother, a no-nonsense woman, said, "Your wedding should be about love, not drama." Their words were a lifeline, reminding me I wasn't alone. But Mom and Cassie didn't stop. A week later, Megan called, amused yet annoyed. "Cassie's saying you uninvited her because you're intimidated by her." I laughed. "Intimidated by what?" "She claims Ryan's into her, and you're jealous," Megan said. It was absurd. Ryan and Cassie barely interacted. Still, it infuriated me that she dragged Ryan into her lies. "Most people don't buy it," Megan assured me. But Cassie would keep spinning tales. I focused on my wedding, reviewing the guest list with Ryan, and alerting the venue about potential disruptions. We hired security, a step I never imagined needing. Ryan reminded me this was our day, and we owed no one explanations. By New Year's, I felt in control. Cassie and Mom could scheme, but they wouldn't ruin our moment. Update 2, just days after my last update. Cassie outdid herself with a stunt so shocking I had to share. I thought I'd seen the peak of her envy and manipulation, but this was next-level disgusting. It started with a text to Ryan one evening. We were unwinding when his phone pinged. His expression darkened. "It's Cassie," he said, showing me the message. "Hey Ryan, I'm really struggling and need to talk. I know you might think I'm awful, but you're the only one who gets me. Can we meet?" It seemed harmless at first, but knowing Cassie's history, I sensed trouble. Ryan agreed it felt wrong. "She's never even liked me," I said. "Why is she reaching out now?" We ignored it, but she kept texting, each message more desperate. She wrote about her loneliness, claiming Ryan's kindness helped her through tough times. Ryan had never been close to her, so this felt staged. We waited to see her motive. Soon, she revealed her hand. She texted Ryan, "I've been thinking about you a lot. I know it's wrong, but I feel a connection Emily doesn't get. I don't know what to do." I was livid. Not just at her audacity, but the disrespect. Days before our wedding, she was trying to stir trouble. Ryan showed me immediately. "How do we handle this?" he asked. "Don't engage," I said. "Block her, but screenshot everything first." He did, saving evidence in case she twisted the story. The next day, I emailed Mom and close family, attaching the screenshots and explaining Cassie's toxic behavior. "This is why I uninvited her," I wrote. "Her actions are manipulative and I've tried to keep peace, but this crosses a line." Mom, predictably, defended Cassie, claiming I misread her intentions and overreacted. She even suggested Ryan misunderstood the texts. "I can't believe you'd accuse your sister of this," she wrote. I wasn't shocked. Others rallied behind me. Megan called, stunned. "She's gone too far," she said. "Good for you for cutting her off." Aunt Laura was furious, saying, "She's shown she doesn't respect you." Their support helped, but Cassie's stunts stung. It wasn't just disrespectful, it was humiliating, like she wanted to undermine my relationship with Ryan. Was it jealousy, revenge, attention? Likely all three. But she wouldn't win. With the wedding nearing, I vowed not to let them ruin it. I alerted the venue, ensuring Cassie and Mom were barred, and added an extra security guard. It felt extreme, but necessary. Cassie's tricks shook me, but they strengthened my resolve to protect my peace. Update 3. I hoped this would be my final update on this saga. I thought I'd prepared for every scenario, but nothing readies you for family trying to sabotage your wedding day. The morning started perfectly. The venue was stunning, the weather ideal, and my bridesmaids kept me calm. Ryan and I did a first look in the garden, and seeing him erased all stress. This was our moment. Then, 30 minutes before the ceremony, my maid of honor Amanda rushed in, flustered. "Cassie and your mom are here," she said. My heart sank. "How? Security was supposed to stop them." "They're at the gate making a scene," she replied. Mom was crying, begging to see her daughter's wedding, while Cassie screamed I was a horrible person who didn't deserve this day. I was furious. They couldn't let me have one day. "What do you want to do?" Amanda asked. "Nothing," I said. "Let security handle it. Engaging gives them power." I could hear their distant shouts as I tried to stay calm. Amanda updated me. "They won't leave. The manager offered to call police, but it might escalate." I groaned. "Keep them away from the ceremony. Don't tell Ryan. He doesn't need this." Security contained them in the parking lot, and a ride service eventually removed them. Not before Cassie yelled, "You'll regret this, Emily. You'll regret abandoning your family." Once they were gone, I refocused. They wouldn't steal my joy. The ceremony was magical, surrounded by loved ones who supported us. I felt overwhelming gratitude. At the cocktail hour, I learned more. Mom and Cassie had accused me of being brainwashed by Ryan and said the family would never forgive me. Some guests overheard, which was embarrassing, but most dismissed it. Aunt Laura hugged me, saying, "I'm proud you held firm." They showed their true selves. Friends, cousins, and even Mom's old friends supported me, recognizing their toxicity. It felt like vindication. The reception was pure joy, dancing, laughter, and love. Ryan and I shared our first dance, Amanda gave a heartfelt toast, and my dad's friend shared a funny story about Ryan sneaking ribs at a barbecue. By night's end, I felt unburdened. Mom and Cassie failed to ruin our day. Their antics only highlighted our support system. Back at the hotel, I saw missed calls and texts from Mom, but ignored them. Cutting them out was tough, but standing with Ryan and our true allies confirmed it was right. Thanks for your support through this. I'll update if more drama arises, but I hope I'm done. Update for a week post-wedding, Megan called with fresh gossip. "You won't believe this," she said, excited. "Mom and Cassie had a massive fight, and Mom kicked her out." I was stunned. What happened? Apparently, Cassie, bitter her wedding sabotage failed, was blaming everyone, including Mom. She accused Mom of not doing enough to stop my wedding, saying Mom should have forced me to cancel. Mom, who'd always indulged Cassie, finally snapped, telling her to take responsibility as an adult. Cassie exploded, accusing Mom of failing her and favoring me. It escalated until Mom ordered her to leave. "She's with a friend now," Megan said, "but she'll probably beg to return soon." I laughed, not out of amusement, but irony. After months of Mom enabling Cassie, their toxicity turned on each other. It felt like justice. I don't pity them. I've blocked their numbers, muted them online, and told family I'm done with their drama. Ryan and I are embracing our new chapter, happier than ever. If you enjoyed this story and felt the emotions behind it, don't forget to give it a like. Share it with others and subscribe to the channel for more real-life experiences and heartfelt stories. Your support means the world, and it helps us bring more content like this to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.